Hey, what's up, guys? Gonz here for the Face Like the Sun YouTube channel. It's September 23rd. Nothing major happened yet, except for the Pope is currently speaking to all the bishops at the St. Matthew's Cathedral in DC, so I'm kind of keeping an eye on that in the background here. But I wanted to report real briefly on CERN, and specifically Anthony Patch, because he has been coming back around doing interviews, and I'm planning to schedule him to be back on the Face Like the Sun YouTube channel for a discussion sometime next week, so look for that. But I'm going to play for you a clip from Ground Zero with Clyde Lewis that aired last night, and the reason why Anthony went quiet or, silent for a while, and also something strange that happened to Clyde Lewis that night as well. So here's the clip.
We did something called Ground Zero University. We do that here in the Northwest. We are working on an idea of doing a Ground Zero University so we can invite everybody to fly to Portland and see it. And we're going to announce that. But we have these mini Ground Zero Universities, and Anthony spoke at least two of them about CERN. We had you appear at one, and it was fantastic. That video is available on Awakened Roots for a price. If you want to pay for it, it's there. You can watch it. It has a lot of great information in it. The second time we gathered together at a Presbyterian church, and we had a great turnout. It was a great turnout at this Ground Zero University, and you spoke about a number of things that were, I guess, what we're going to be talking about tonight a little bit.
Sure.
The future of CERN and how it goes beyond just the particle physics idea, how it will be able to contribute to something called quantum entanglement and other things too. And we'll talk about that. But as you were speaking at this event, it went well. It was okay. We had a few people asking questions, and somebody commented that everybody there was coughing for some reason. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but
it was pretty hot.
It was pretty hot that day. So, okay, so you were up there giving your speech, and that's on the second video. So if you guys want to get the second video, it's available at awakenedroots.com. That's awakenedroots.com if you want to get the video. You were speaking at this church, and something happened which frightened you. Tell us what happened.
Well, previous to that, for about a month, I had experienced an awful lot of what I call electronic harassment of all of my electronic devices, including my website. Following the event in the parking lot, I was approached by two gentlemen that we both had seen sitting in the far rear corner of the assembly, and they were dressed in suits and ties, which didn't fit with the temperature of the room we were experiencing. They approached me, and without extending their hands to shake my hand, as one would expect, they simply said, politely enough, "We like what you're saying, but please stop." That was the end of the conversation. I didn't say anything in response, and we parted ways. That evening, I after putting up a notice on my Facebook pages, pulled my Facebook pages and my YouTube channel, which I felt was a prudent thing to do to protect my family. Within 3 days, all of the electronic harassment ceased and everything returned to normal. Mm-hmm. So I felt that message was received.
Well, yeah, that really had me worried, well, because of what happened to me that night.
Yeah, and I'd like you to tell that story if you feel comfortable.
Well, I hope I can get through it. I didn't talk about this. I haven't really talked about it on the air all that much. But those two men approached me also. I was waiting for a ride to go have dinner because I hadn't eaten all day. We were there, and I hadn't eaten anything, and I need to eat something because I'm, when you're dieting and you have to eat something, and
Oh, yeah.
So I was waiting for my friend to pick me up, and they came up to me and they said, hello, Mr. Lewis, great show, love your Ground Zero University. It's nice meeting you. And this one guy shook my hand, and he wouldn't let go of it. And I kept trying to pull away. He goes, it's just and he was gripping my hand really, he was gripping it hard. So finally he did let go of it. I got in the car. I can't remember where I went and ate. I don't know where I went and ate. And, but I do remember, the next thing I remember was sitting in a Fred Meyer store, it's a department store, sitting on a bench in the store as they're closing, drooling and not being able to form sentences. I didn't know what was wrong with me. My friend Sarah then got help to put me in the car. They drove me to the nearest hospital, which was just nearby. It was about not even a mile away. They put me in the hospital. I was admitted in. I was kept overnight. they thought that maybe I was overdosed on some drug. They thought I was drugged. They didn't know what to do. And they also did a blood count on me. And I had a normal blood count for someone who's healthy is 40. Mine was 8. I had a blood count of 8, red blood cell count of 8. And they didn't know what was wrong. They said that they immediately gave me a blood transfusion. And I was in the hospital for a day and then I got out. But the idea of going into a hospital situation after my Ground Zero University, I knew nothing of your situation.
Right. We didn't talk.
No, we didn't say anything. And so when I heard that you had pulled, I didn't even know why. And I didn't even suspect anything about me, only that I went to the hospital. And when they said your blood count, red blood's down to 8, I was like, whoa. Because I said, what's normal? And they said, well, most people can function at 14. You're at 8, and we don't know how you're doing it, but you're here, and you couldn't speak, you couldn't talk, you had your eyes halfway open. So something happened to me that night. Something that happened to you, something that happened to me, and I don't know exactly what we did. I don't know exactly what I said or did to deserve that kind of treatment, but I did. And I saw that you pulled everything, and then I didn't pursue that because I figured it was something that you wanted to keep private. And I just asked you if maybe we should talk about it. And we didn't. We kept it on the down low until before it's news reported that you had been killed. But I said, whoa, this can't be true. So
there you have it. That's part of the conversation. You should check out this episode. It will reiterate a lot of what you guys have probably looked at concerning CERN and all the strangeness surrounding it. And, I don't have necessarily new information to provide here other than, the fact that Anthony Patch is back, so to speak. But it is strange that, this is a very intense week of ritual. And I think it's happening at a level that is above what we're used to. There's footage of the Chinese president arriving in Washington State at the same time as the Pope arriving on the East Coast, and it's just very strange how everything is happening right now. Nothing significant in terms of, a natural catastrophe or anything like that, but I think this has been a targeted date and week for the elite and the Illuminati or the Dark Order or whoever you want to call them. I think they've targeted this, and that's why there's so many, predictive programming, and, it's still, about 10:30 here as I record this, so 10:30 a.m. at least on the West Coast here. So there's plenty of time left for the rest of today, and if anything breaks, I'll definitely hop on and make sure to report it and let you guys know about what's happening. I think we need to pray here. Obviously, things are a little mucky-muck when it comes to the Pope and, Christians supporting the Pope. We Christians have to understand that it's pretty much, if you understand the Bible, it's kind of blasphemous what the Pope represents. He's basically the vicar of Christ and stuff. It's pretty blasphemous. And, I know we can argue with the Catholics, and, the arguments have been going on for centuries. And so, it's not going to be solved here on the YouTube channel or anything like that. But I think it's an important thing to consider. And we need to pray for protection. We need to pray for the people to wake up and realize the times that we're living in. And this week is, I think, spiritually very significant. And even though there may not be, some sort of major physical catastrophe or false flag, in terms of the spirit realm, the dark side is definitely moving, and they're moving quickly. And I think CERN has something to do with it. I think the whole thing is a huge ritual. We've talked about this. And they're trying to basically hold open a portal to allow in some sort of entity. And in the last CERN Watch video, I talked about how, or a couple CERN Watch videos ago, I talked about how it's possible that, it's God's angels sent for judgment. Or even if it's not, even if it's demons, it's possible that God is allowing them to come through based on, certain aspects of what God will do in terms of judgment. So I think we have to be very vigilant, continue to stay sober-minded, and, keep watch. And I don't think the Pope has said anything too crazy so far, but that's to be expected. But there's still, a few days to go here with all the craziness. And then, of course, it culminates with a blood moon, which, again, is nothing too crazy. It's not the biblical blood moon. I want to be very clear about that. Unless at that blood moon, the sun won't give its light either somehow. And there's earthquakes and stars fall and all kinds of craziness happens at the same time as described in the Bible. But I don't think, based on my understanding, that that's necessarily going to happen on this weekend when the blood moon, the final blood moon of the tetrad, commences. But again, in terms of the Dark Order, they are very much using, I think, all of this to potentially create the catalyst for, moving forward into a true sort of new world order system. And, I think CERN, again, keep tying it back to CERN because this is pretty much a CERN Watch video. Everything's going global. The conversations have always done so. They've always talked about global this, global that, but it seems like it's happening at a larger scale now. You have Friday, September 25th, CERN photo walk for a competition. I reported on this a few videos ago. The Global Physics photo walk, the global physics, right? Then you also have the European Research Night Pop Science, the Port Hackathon, which I found interesting about this Port Hackathon thing, okay? First off, here's what it says. It's Sunday, 2nd through the 4th October. It's a nonprofit organization and interdisciplinary teams to work on humanitarian technology related benefits to society. The topics selected for the 2015 edition are inspired by the Red Cross, United Nations, and many other NGOs in and around Geneva. 6 interdisciplinary teams with about 10 members each had 6 weeks preparation with video conference meetings and a 60-hour final hackathon to build working prototypes and tangible solutions for real-life humanitarian problems. That's 3 sixes. I mean, yeah, 60 is not necessarily 6, but it's close. And why? Why would they have 6 teams, 6 weeks, and the 6 hours might have been too short? So, of course, they would include the 60-hour final hackathon. I don't know. Is this coincidence? Maybe. But these things seem to happen just, maybe they're just coincidences from God that he's showing us what's really going on here. Then you have TEDx CERN on Friday, October 9th, the Breaking the Rules. Again, breaking the rules. It's going to talk about using tangible interfaces that allow human interaction via e-devices, 3D technology as a means to revolutionize education and product fabrication, to exploring transformations of matter into habitable structures. TEDx CERN's speakers this year brings you their visions for a new world. These ideas push beyond the boundaries of academia to inform our present and change our future. There you have it. CERN is definitely on top of global physics, global change, and a new world, and human interaction with e-devices, 3D technology, to revolutionize education, product fabrication, and exploring transformations of matter into habitable structures. Boy, I mean, we're living in a sci-fi world here. I mean, things are getting quite crazy. So come, Lord Jesus, come quickly. In the meantime, let's get out there. Let's get people saved. I mean, this is a great witness for people. Yeah, it seems like kind of nuts, but man, if you start looking at the Bible, you look at the book of Revelation, you look at biblical prophecy and what is prophesied to happen, and you line it up with some of the stuff that CERN itself is claiming. I mean, this is not just us making stuff up. This is CERN, this is just right up front. This is the biggest machine presumably ever created by man, at least that we know about. And this is what they're pushing for. So again, I'm going to keep this pretty short here. A lot going on. I'm going to keep an eye on the Pope here. I got the Chinese president. Got to keep an eye on Vladimir Putin. And got a couple other things I want to talk about today, unless something else breaks. So that's about it. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Talk to you guys soon. God bless.